Shalom Aleichem, Malishma. We here for the next edition of Mishlei, Proverbs, written by King Solomon, the son of King David, Mamish. And we're in chapter 1, verse 3. To receive instruction in wise behavior, righteousness, justice, and equity. We're saying, listen to the previous classes to get caught up to speed. Sorry about that. And we're hitting the ground running over here. We're comparing what is Musar and Musar Haskell. High wisdom Musar and low Bina Musar. So King Solomon marshaled. He was a Ben David, which means it's high level wisdoming. Melech Yisrael, the councilman of Israel, we'll call it. Aramaic Melech means council. Why do you do that? Why do you stockpile wisdom? To know Chachma, there we go. Umusar lahavin amri bina. Umusar, you need to be shaken up to fully understand words of understanding. Eric, can you give me my favorite shampoo, please? You're watching the game. Can you stop watching the game, Eric, and get me my favorite shampoo? Right? It's a rattle your cage musser. Eric, type 1. You want to rattle their cage on purpose. You're really not interested in feelings and these kind of things, right? It's just a matter of, come on, moron. You know my favorite stuff. Let's go on with it. If you care about the relationship, you'll figure it out. If you don't care, sayonara. It's that simple. Eric, can you please stop putting your wet glass on my table? You have two choices. You can either care or you can leave. And you'll leave by yourself, right? Either I'm being a jerk and you don't need to be abused by me. Okay, see you, Eric. Or, oh, man, I was being a moron, man. I forgot this guy's got ancient manuscripts laying around. I better pay attention. It's, it really, this is din. This is the female din, even for men, right? It's, you're either going to get on board or you're not. It's that simple. And it's coming from God, but it's rattling your klipa. Because you're in klipa, if you're getting it on that level. Now, lekachat, musar, haskell, so you got to get beat up to get that bina wisdom so that you can become sensitive to become an antenna for musar, haskell, tzedek, mishpat, mesharim. If you're going to be remember we had the question, how do I become a super amazing host at my house so that you don't even get yelled at for the water glass? I just know where to put you so that you don't mess it up. It's from Musar Haskell. It comes from a revelation. Really, it's prophecy. But you got to have so much wisdom crammed in there and have been rattled your cage so much, called training, that you don't mess this up. All right, that's what we said going from last week. And that was the whole verse. Now we want to know to receive instruction in wise behavior. That's our English to look up. And we already looked up righteousness, justice, and equity. Remember righteousness, we said there's be here at 8 o'clock. If you're here at 8:02, I'm God. I made the rules. I call you righteous. That's the lower conduct. And then there's real righteousness, the higher conduct. In Israel, they make their own ethics, so you're righteous according to Israeli law, and it's garbage. But it's how a lot of the world operates. Justice is like that, the amazing government. Equity is equity and real value. So no, not cheating people out. All right. So really, you want to run your home, run your space, run your life with righteousness, justice, and equity, because you have to, right? King David says the meaning of life never goes away. It's all about taxes and bills and money and laws, and it just, man. Well, that's what you're born into. None of you were born into Gan Eden, and you're never going to be. This world was built off of what we call life, and more specifically, the rough part of life, Right? You're born into a savage world of bills and laws, and you have to find truth and God and light in that system. In the white parchment around the black ink. So you're going to have to learn righteousness, justice, and equity. Because I'm not you and you're not me, and I don't know where you want me to put my glass when I come over. Now, you can't rewrite reality. I'm going to come over, you're going to offer me water, and I'm going to spill it on your stuff, right? Type 1. Now, you can either suffer my moron man, you can count on me to fix my moron man, which makes you a bigger moron, or we can all work on moron man together. So at the end of the day, if none of us are moron man, there is no righteousness, justice, and equity. It's just called light and Gan Eden and life. So you create your matrix of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Really, you can say this is all a pshuto. Maybe in the Torah of Mashiach, righteousness, justice, and equity, if we look it up in the Zohar, might be a whole different thing. In fact, I would say it is. It's called Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. I think we should all have a little bit more of Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes in our lives. So it's saying if you want to bring the Mohin down into the Midas, that's how you get God revelation. I'll go with that. I'll definitely go with that. And we'll see if the Vilna Gaon goes with that. But we want to find out what these words mean because we're dealing with this world. If one of you guys want to make a note that after this class we do the Kabbalistic, you know what? Let's do that. Loretta 1R, Eric, if you want to back her up, after the Vilna Gaon, let's go ahead and look it up Kabbalistically. Okay, remind me after the Vilna Gaon, we're going to Zohar this verse. All right, remind me to Zohar it out or Kabbalah it out, whatever sources in the Kabbalah we have, and let's find out what not the Pshuto is. And please tell me, Rabbi Katz, we don't want to see this verse, Lafi Pshuto. We want to know what is the Pshat, and I'll know what you mean. Now let's go. Now we got to figure out what word to look up. So let's see here. Righteousness, justice, and equity. Lekachat musar haskel. Lekachat. Let me see. Let me see what the Aramaic is. I think we did look it up. Let me just see. L'mekabla. So that's to receive. Mardusa, which is musar. Instruction. Haskell is wise behavior. The way that word to and in. Okay, so you know what I want to do? I want to cheat. Is there a better word than wise behavior? I think conduct. Isn't conduct the word? To receive instruction and conduct? Let's everyone do it. If you can search for me while I'm searching, I challenge you to find, one word, one English word for wise behavior. That's the mission. Try to do it real quick. One better English word. Because I don't want to look up two different words. To accept, to receive, wise discipline, wise behavior, wise discipline. Isn't there a better word here? Is there a better word? Musar Haskell, wise behavior. Let me see if the Gaon has something. You never know. Kachat Tachlis Hulakachat Musar Haskell Hayosh Yatzliach. No. What do you think? Wise behavior. Musar Haskell. Musar Haskell. Mardusa. Wise to receive. Lakachat Mardusa. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Hold on. What is it? Wait. Receive instruction. The Kabbalah. Lemekabla to receive. Mardusa the Suchla. Instruction. Wait, no. Lekachat is to receive instruction. Musar Haskell, wise behavior. That's it. So Musar is behavior, Sechel is wise. Okay. All right, hold on. So to receive instruction, that's Lekachat. Let me see the art scroll again. If they say accept, we're going to go accept. Yeah. To accept. Let's go with the art scroll on this, okay? To accept wise discipline. I like that. You guys like that? I'm going to make a quick meme. Just for us. Is that very good? All right, you like the picture? All right, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, to accept wise discipline. But you know what? I want to fix it. Hold on. What was our verse in art scroll? Hold on a second. To accept wise discipline, righteousness, justice, and equity. Okay. What do you think? You guys like the image? Not bad. Not bad. To accept wise discipline, righteousness, justice, and equity. Okay. I like that. Now, all right, we did righteousness, justice, and equity. Remember, to accept lekachat, musar, discipline, sechel, wise discipline. Lekachat, to accept. Okay. I'll give you guys a vote. You want to do to accept, or do you want to do wise discipline, which is harder because it's 2 words? Meaning you want it harder today or next week? You want to do hard today or hard next week? Which means we might not finish it all today. It might be a 2-part thing. We can either fully get to accept. Yeah. All right, let's do it. So we're going to figure out wise discipline. Accept wise discipline. Righteousness. 1 second. This is the algorithm here. Hold on. So righteousness, justice, and equity. Focus on righteousness in your minds. Loretta 1R, remember, it's either going to be a bogus, false righteousness or a real righteousness, type 1. You got to be prepared for both. And then that dictates how much where your justice and equity are, right? To accept wise discipline, righteousness. Well, aren't I giving you discipline if I say be here at 8 o'clock and not 8:01? I mean, I think the driving school is a perfect analogy here, right? I'm a driving instructor, and, I'm a lowlife. But what was the point of driving school? Find the wise discipline. You might hate me, but the bottom line is I am here for a purpose. You can't say that as a driving instructor, I have nothing to offer you, right? You can't say that even the rabbis that don't get it right have nothing to offer you, right? They say goyim this and goyim that. Okay, it's offensive and crass. But if you just call it low-level conduct, right? It's false righteousness. Find the wise discipline. Find the nugget. So there is wise discipline in all these things, the false righteousness. To accept wise discipline. Okay, it's one long sentence. Do you hear it? To accept wise discipline, righteousness. To accept wise discipline, righteousness, justice. You hear it? Wise discipline, righteousness is one blurb. It means either accept driving school or accept a class from Moses. right? The high end, low end. The driving school, it's hard to connect to it. And Moses, he's talking about Av of Sag, of Ma and Bon and the Acharayim. But all right, it's over my head, but I have to accept there's wise discipline here. Because it's righteousness. So to accept wise discipline, then it can go either high or low with righteousness, justice, and equity. Righteousness, one or high or low. Justice, look, if I'm going to rip you off, there's probably method to the madness. Don't focus on equity yet, right? Don't say I'm cheating you. First, understand why I'm cheating you. Then you move over to equity. Then you can understand why you're being cheated. And again, it's either going to be low righteousness or maybe you're surprised it's high righteousness. The bottom line is you're being put. You know what it looks like when a key enters a keyhole? You ever seen those videos where the key goes in and the shafts go up and down? Okay, well, that's to accept wise discipline. That's all that matters. I don't care what you think about me. I really don't. It's your job as a human to know you're getting wise discipline. And vice versa. When you yell at me or you're nice to me, whatever it is, I'm getting wise discipline because that's how God made it. All of creation gives that message over. Your job is to insert that key into righteousness, justice, and equity. And you'll figure out if it's high or low. Some shafts go up, some shafts go low. Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. Isn't that what we're saying? Your job is to figure out where the Chesed is, where the Gevurah is, and where the Tiferes is. Okay. So first you need to know what wise discipline is. Then you can accept it. Because you're not ready to accept it yet because you don't even know what wise discipline is. And we don't know what wise is, and we don't know what discipline is. Let's find out what discipline is. Because I'm disciplining you. When I want you here at, by the way, Travis, the class got moved to tomorrow for the wall. That's why I'm here. It was supposed to be tonight, the wall. Now it's for tomorrow. So when I'm telling you be here at 8 o'clock sharp and not 8:01, I'm revoking your license. That is discipline. Because the world operates on discipline. I think it's pretty much impossible for it not to operate on discipline. Meaning you are not so base or bland that you don't care. You do care. And if you don't know you care, which is called klippa, then holiness will prick you until you care. And that's what we're seeing all the time, especially on Facebook. All right, let's go to Merriam-Webster. Let's see, Merriam, discipline. Discipline. Discipline.
Discipline.
That's a little treat. All right, here we go. Simple definition of discipline. Okay, we got to go real slow here. Real slow. Control that is gained. Wow, you hear that? Did you hear that? Control that is gained. Did you cop that? Control that is gained. Why does Sammy, the driving instructor, want me there at 8 o'clock sharp and not 8:01? Control. Control. See, that's the thing. It's like if you're going to be a bad guy, you got to do it off the bat. That's why people are such bad people. Now I cop it. You cop that? Why are people jerks? Because they know that they got to trap you right off the bat. That way you never get out. Because if you're nice and then you realize you are out of control and you're a control freak, then you're not going to get control ever. So what do? There are people that are always putting you under control. It makes sense. It makes sense. Control that is gained by requiring that rules or orders be obeyed and punishing bad behavior. Not fun. I'm just thinking, wow, this is heavy. So when you walk into a difficult situation, they are controlling you. Isn't that nice to know, Loretta Winnar? If you walk into a bad situation and you just need to know right away, right, to accept. That's what it is. It's low-level righteousness. The key cylinders are going down. Conduct, justice is going to be low-level, and you got to find your place of equity. Man, this is great wisdom. I'll tell you that. This is fantastic. He's telling you right off the bat where you got to be and how you got to be. A way of behaving that shows a willingness to obey rules or orders. Oh, wow. It's the low-level tzedek. So when you know the system, either through mishpat, I'm telling you to show up on time, Loretta Winnar, or you know that I yell at people who are late and you just know to be on time, you've been disciplined. So you know what? When you see people cooperating, then you know it's a dangerous place, a dangerous situation. Oh, man. That's rough stuff. Behavior that is judged by how well it follows a set of rules or orders. Behavior that is judged by how well it follows a set of rules or orders. Discipline. Discipline. So you got to know when you're entering something with discipline. And you know what the chiddush is? It's always a place of discipline. Moron man is what says it isn't. Moron man says that you don't have to pay attention in traffic school. That's moron man. Moron man says, oh, it's just Loretta Winnar's house. I can put my feet up on the couch and trash it. Who is she anyways? Moron man says, I don't have to keep my toilets clean because who comes to my house anyways? You don't actually have an excuse to not have discipline. Now, you can make it high-level discipline or you can make it low-level discipline. You can, look, we need to find out, well, that's the thing. It's not just discipline. It's going to become wise discipline, right? It might be wise discipline in my house is give a guy a loaf of bread and a jar of hummus and say, here, you're hungry. I don't know. So we're only getting half the story right now. Based on the rules. So it might be good rules. You're not allowed to be uncomfortable in my house. Okay? We got to figure it out. Punishment. Ugh. Punishment. Punishment is discipline. You're here at 8 o'clock. I said you can't leave. You're already wanting to leave. Loretta Winnar, you're already not getting an A on your test. It's now a B at best. I just punished you. I just disciplined you. Right? I just disciplined you. I want you under control. You're a threat. People that want to leave class are not safe drivers. I'm going to teach you a lesson. So it's really the authority of the disciplinarian. And you're showing a lack of discipline. So lack of discipline doesn't mean there's no discipline. Otherwise, it's not discipline. Right? I told you not to put your feet over there, and you did. Are you saying, Loretta Winnar, I don't exist? Because I do exist. And just because you broke the law doesn't mean there is no law. You're now going to sit in the corner. You're going to learn that you don't put your feet over there. Obsolete. What does that mean? Why is that? What in the world? Instruction. What does obsolete mean? What does that mean? Obsolete. What does that mean? What in the world does that mean? Obsolete and short. 1 second. We gotta look up obsolete. I don't know what it means. Certainly not in this context. I don't have any idea what that means. Obsolete. What does that mean? No longer used because something newer exists. Replaced by something newer. I have to discipline you. You did it wrong. You did it the old way. You're not doing it the new right way. Right? So when I changed the ropes in the bank, you used to think that you wait over there. Well, let me discipline you by telling you, ma'am, step over here, please. Right? I got to discipline you. Got to discipline you. No longer used by anyone. Of a kinder style, not current, old-fashioned. So how do you get people? Well, look, isn't if you don't get Windows 10, you don't get your Windows to work, right? They're disciplining you because it's obsolete. If I want to run Windows 3.1, they won't let me anymore, right? They're saying it's obsolete. I get disciplined. My programs won't work. Instruction. So you get instructions when you're obsolete. Kiddush necessary. Yeah, exactly that. Update. You need an update. Really, it's an update. Okay. A field of study. Like Taekwondo is a discipline. Wrestling is a discipline. Field of study. That's a nice way of looking at it. When you go to driving school, you are in moron man mode. You know why? This is a really nice kiddush. Why are you such a moron when you go to driving school? You were unaware, you were obsolete that this was a field of study. Well, you don't even know that you're studying. You realize, an example I used to give, you realize I wasn't even counting on there being a book. I was such a moron, I thought there was no book. So the Chiddush is, when we go to Loretta 1R's house, there's a book there. There's the book of how to get along at Loretta's house. It's a field of study. Why? Because Loretta's put how many years of study into her life of who she is and how she is. And you're going to walk in there and say, nothing here, a bunch of morons. We're all morons here. You got to realize wherever you're going, wherever you are walking into a field of study. And that is a gift from God. This is maybe the biggest thing I've ever said in my life. Think about it. You walk into a hotel to check into your room, right? Did those women or men working behind the counter, were they trained for that job? Are there like schools of management in hotels? Is there like a cleaning lady going around and the bellman and the desk people? It's a field of study. People study hotel management. And you're just moron man. Nope, no wisdom for me. You don't even realize, why can't you hurry up and get me my room? What are you, slow and stupid or something? You're not realizing the wisdom. Why aren't you paying attention? The least that can happen is that you get enlightened. You realize that? The very least, once you cooperate with discipline, you will see a wisdom that you don't even know, and it should enlighten you because it's a wisdom that you don't know. If you really wanted to get into it and pay attention and stop complaining and become disciplined, you would see the wisdom. And then they would love to tell you, because anyone that has wisdom loves to say it when there's a chance to say it. That's a very powerful statement or idea. Training that corrects, molds, and perfects the mental faculties or moral character. That's hard. That's hard. That's one you really got to swallow your pride, isn't it? You got to really, really swallow your pride on that one. Why does it have to be that way? Why do we train each other? When the hotel woman says, wait your turn in line, she's training you. She's calling you impatient. She's calling you unrefined. She's calling you an animal. Because you need correcting. You're not civil. You're not civilized. You need molded. Your mental faculties are out of whack. You're a bit insane. You're a bit paranoid, right? Maybe there's no rooms in the hotel. Maybe all of a sudden they sold out. Mr. Jones, we don't just sell out in a matter of seconds. Relax. We'll get you to your room. Moral character. Hey, lady, hurry up. Isn't this life? Isn't this like all of us at some point? So you basically, life has a breach and lack of discipline. And when you get out of line, pun intended, the line will put you back in line. We lose discipline. For some reason, we lose discipline. Probably because we were not born with discipline. In fact, I can prove it to you. You want me to prove to you that you were not born with discipline? You guys want me to prove it to you? Yeah? I guarantee you, when you were crying at 3 months old, no one said, hey, Loretta, shut up. Type 1. Now, technically, little baby Loretta was out of line. Were you not? Technically. This is not a time to cry and act like a baby. Right? If we were at a library studying and little baby Loretta starts crying, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Isn't that out of line? Shouldn't baby Loretta wait until mom of Loretta takes baby Loretta home in a quiet, safe place to feed baby Loretta? Couldn't mom just tell you, Loretta, hey, Loretta, wait. Loretta, chill out, wait. No, Loretta needs to eat now. Right now, not waiting, all of a sudden, out of the blue, I'm hungry, hey, lady, people, grown-ups, feed me. Then Loretta turned 3. Remember when Loretta turned 3? She did the same thing. Hey, lady, feed me. I'm hungry. Loretta, you can't talk the way. Hey, feed me. I'm hungry. Then Loretta turned 10. Remember when Loretta turned 10? Once in a while, Loretta got nasty. Once in a while. Not too often. And then we thought Loretta was fixed. Wow, thank God. A wonderful, beautiful 10, 12-year-old kid. Wonderful character traits. This one is precious. Remember that, Loretta? Then Loretta hit teenage years, and new social pressures came into her life. Remember that? Now the baby animal came back. Remember what we learned last night, Loretta? It's very easy for a kid to get his soul, but once you start growing up, you sin and you tarnish the soul. Now Loretta wanted a candy bar. All of her friends had one. Loretta didn't have any money. So Loretta stole the candy bar. Loretta was out of line. Loretta needs discipline. Why would Loretta steal a candy bar? Why would she do that? Because no one ever really disciplined Loretta. It's just that life hit a soft spot for Loretta. At 10 years old, Loretta knew enough discipline to wait. Mom will give food. I don't have to yell and scream. And Mom said, okay, I guess we're done disciplining Loretta. Let Loretta be. She's a wonderful young woman. But life wasn't so kind to Loretta. Life demanded things of Loretta. And no one was there to discipline her because Loretta is a person who said, if you discipline me, I might get upset, offended, right? All the things that basically we would have done to baby Loretta. If someone would have yelled at baby Loretta, we would have yelled at that person. Don't you dare yell at the baby. So that became the ego. And now 10-year-old Loretta is still the baby. And now 10-year-old Loretta will speak for herself. How dare you yell at me? I'm a baby. Isn't that how their ego works? So we say, oh, you know what, Loretta? Do what you got to do. So now 30-year-old Loretta at the bank. Now this Loretta has bills and things to do. And she's not cooperating because she never really learned. She's a baby, right? And the ego inside is the baby. And it wants now. I want my money out of the bank now. Now. And she's crying there. When? And now, because we think you're a mature 30-year-old, the guy next to you says, hey, ma'am, can you stop pacing? You're freaking me out. And Loretta says, who do you think you are? Now Loretta says, I'm going to cut in line and show you a lesson, and now you're out of line. Out of line, the security guard comes and grabs you by the arm and says, ma'am, can you take a seat here, please? Now you had to get disciplined. So the answer is, why do we have these breaches of conduct? Because we start from youth, from baby, and then we gain our soul by the time we're a teenager. And everyone buys our BS. They think that we're rectified and mature. Yeah, 10 years old, we're very mature. I mean, look, I think my kid now, Reuven, he's 7, almost 8 years old. I'm practically thinking I'm done. He's a mature kid. It's great. I'm delusional. He's going to be a nightmare if I let off slack. So you just are a problem of the perpetuation of your babiness, because God created you as a baby. That's the challenge of man. You were created without discipline in a world. Remember we said King David life, bills, taxes, all these things. So you were born into that world, but you actually believe that you're special. And you're exempt because nobody ever thought to yell at baby Loretta. And they were correct. But baby Loretta, the chiddush is she was alive, she was human, and you are building her ego without her knowing it. The big question would become, how do you discipline a baby? How do you raise a child from youth that the ego never has a chance? Isn't that a great question? You don't yell at a baby. You don't beat a baby. You don't hit a baby. You don't punish a baby. But you have the obligation to have the right chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes on the baby that its ego is marginalized. That's the world of discipline. Control gained by enforcing obedience or order. I would say that's a good way to raise a baby, right? Enforcing obedience or order. Simply make order in the house. Look, you're not doing anybody a favor by giving your kid free reign of the house. How about even feeding the baby at not perfect order times? I know babies get hungry. But imagine giving a drop of order, and I've raised babies, remember? A drop of order into the baby's life. Meaning when you nurse, did you ever try calculating the time the baby eats? Let's say by mazel, the baby suckles 16 minutes and 40 seconds each time. Right? It just by mazel. So what you do is stop it at 30 seconds, 16 and a half minutes. I don't know if this is good or bad what I'm saying right now, but just the concept of it makes me think. Right? Imagine if you took 10 seconds off that baby's feeding time. What do you think Loretta would are? 10 seconds. 10 seconds to round it off to, yeah? Just to let the baby know, that's it. Now you know the baby got fed, okay? It's fed. It was missing that little, because I'll never forget when Reuben was born, he was manipulating us, and I know that because the nurse said he's a chacham. He's very smart, and babies know what they're doing. I'll never forget that. Babies are people. So I don't know if this is right what I'm saying. I'm not an expert in that. But imagine introducing, whatever way the experts know, a little bit of enforcing obedience and order. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Just a little bit of order injected into its life. Orderly or prescribed conduct or orderly or prescribed conduct or pattern of behavior. You are to behave this way. You are to conduct yourself this way. This is how you act here. You know what's very good about that is like children's museums, where they let you touch all the exhibits, right? They control, how the conduct and pattern of behavior is, right? When it's like the freak out zone, it's, like the thing, go crazy. Then you go into the auditorium and they might say, shh, the movie's just beginning. All the kids know, be quiet, right? So kind of an outer body experience of discipline. Which means you need to pay attention to the road signs. You need to pay attention to what is expected and who belongs here. And what's the chiddush? This is a big chiddush. There's no place on earth devoid of those signs. And you know what? You are telling your baby the order, but you're not doing it with definitive discipline. Right? Because you think the baby doesn't get your energy when you wanted to stop eating. You got the intuition, hey, baby, you're done. And you're fighting the baby. So the discipline's there. Your job is to follow it and bring it out from Chachma to Keter. For those following my Mishlei Elyon class, Chachma to Keter, where you're struggling to figure it out versus you just execute. Self-control. Self-control. Sometimes you just need to control yourself. That's a hard one. When it's just not time. A rule or system of rules governing conduct or activity. A rule governing conduct. I would phrase that different. I would say it's a rule or system of rules, semicolon, governing conduct or activity. So it's the governing, meaning it's like the verb, right? Governing conduct. Which means you're being governed wherever you are. You're always being governed. If not in this world, by the angelic world. So it's the rule or system of rules. Meaning it's not, why so this is amazing. This is amazing. You know why the Torah was given? The Torah was given because there is law on earth. And your job is because in wisdom, you're not enforcing and following the law clearly. The Torah is here to accentuate the law of the land. There is law, and Loretta follows the law. Loretta enforces the law. She's a perfect human being. She's just not very good at it. Torah is here to say, hey, Loretta, study the Torah and really, highlight those things and be very good at the law and good at executing the law. And nothing changes. You knew already when it was time to stop feeding the baby. You just weren't bold with your actions. You were in Chachma, not Keter. All right. I'm actually going to stop there. And we're going to do the word wise next week. So please, if you can remind me to look up wise. Remind me about the Kabbalah thing eventually. And remind me what discipline was. Just so we can work on it together. We want to remember what discipline was. Please take down some notes and remind me what discipline was. And we'll figure out now the goal for next week, if you can remind me also, it's not just discipline. We're going to wipe out everything we did today. There's no such thing as discipline. Remember, discipline is being a low-level stuff. We want wise discipline. So we're going to have to learn what wise means, and then we're gonna combine the two together. All right? So that's that. See you for class on Dinam on Thursday, and see you for Mishlei next week.